Hey, welcome to Dan's Model Works. It's new project day. Yay! So as the title says, we're going to build a sleeper. Now I know that most of you know what a sleeper is, but a lot of people don't. For those who may be fuzzy on the subject, here it goes. A sleeper is a vehicle which appears to be nothing special in terms of performance, but it's been modified to blow away many more serious or expensive sports cars. I think you can put them in two rough categories. The first is cars or light trucks that were never offered with high-performance engines, but have been retrofitted with a much more potent engine. Think of a 1980 Ford Fairmont with a custom-built engine intended for a Mustang, or an Econobox with an engine from a much larger car. Lightweight plus big engine equals surprising performance. The second route is to have a vehicle which looks neglected or unloved, but once again contains the heart of a beast. The most popular example I can think of is the infamous farm truck, which is a 1970 Chevy pickup truck with a big block race-prepped engine. Other than the race slicks on the rear, it doesn't look fast or special. Here in southwestern Ontario, where the heavily salted roads literally eat our cars alive, pickup trucks like the one I'm drawing are quite common, where thrifty owners try to keep them going by replacing fenders, doors, and even the entire beds with slightly less rusty parts. Such a rainbow truck would be a perfect start for a sleeper. So, what kit are we going to start with to build our sleeper? There's actually two Dodge pickup truck kits from the era we're looking for. Basically, the time frame I'm looking for is between the time that Dodge completely redesigned their pickup trucks and pretty much revitalized their whole truck line, which was 94, I believe, through to about 2000 when it was refreshed. And AMT made one, and the other one is Revell's Dodge Ram VTS pickup truck. And obviously this is the one I have. Now this makes it really easy because we already have the monster engine in this. We have the Viper V10 in here. So that part's going to be easy because it's already baked into the kit. However, what we want to do is, or at least I want to do, is most Dodge pickup trucks of that era had a chrome grille. Some of them were body colored, but most of them were chrome. So this part we're going to have to chrome. We're going to want to chrome the main part of the bumper. This part here can be black or kind of a rubber color, but this part down here should be black, or it should be chrome. And the rear bumper is very vestigial on this, and I'm going to want to beef that out because remember, what we want here is just a plain old Dodge truck that's, been worked really hard, and the second or third owner is basically the guy who's stuck the Viper engine in it. So one of the other things we're going to have to do, if we look at the side of the box here, you can see the stance is really low. I mean, hey, this is basically a show truck. We want it to be a sleeper. We want it to be something that somebody's driving every day. So I'm going to be basically jacking it up to be the normal ride height for a Ram pickup truck. The engine itself, we're going to pretty much be building that stock, but we're going to be grimying it up a lot. Okay, it's not going to be disgusting, but it's going to be obvious that this guy is using it and driving it on a daily basis. The engine bay, it is going to be fairly clean. I'm probably going to be painting it gloss black. The idea is when he did the transplant, he did pretty up the engine bay. But otherwise, most of the body panels are going to be in rough shape. They're going to be mismatched. And probably a lot of them are going to have a little bit of rust damage on them. So let's take a look at the inside of this kit. I should point out that this project kind of solves a conundrum I've always had about this particular kit. When I purchased it, I basically wanted a straight stock Dodge truck of this era. I thought it was particularly important because it broke from the existing Dodge designs that it dated all the way back from the early 70s. But I was always bothered by, the fact that it was basically a show truck. I would much rather have a daily driver. So I didn't know when I'd ever come across an engine to put in here that would be a correct engine. So building it as a sleeper and making its external appearance look very much like a stock truck, but still keeping this little beastie inside here is kind of a good compromise. So if you've never seen this kit, it's quite nice. Get it open here. It comes with Revell's standard octopus of tires here. Sankopus? I guess it's Sankopus because it's got, 5 tires on them here. And of course, they're no names. They got no name on them. And we've got window glass, which is all separate parts. The nice thing is it gives you the sun visors. And this is the back of the cab. This is one of these Revell kits where the cab and the bed are integral. This is the bed cover, I believe. We won't be using that. And the bumper, we're going to be doing a little bit of work on this, basically to bump it out to where it should be for a Dodge pickup truck. Going on here, you can see the interior bucket, and it has separate sidewalls, which is nice. I like that. And this is going to make our life a little easier. Here we have the grill, and it's a separate part. So I'm going to be bare metal foiling this. And then the inlets are going to be basically flat black. So if you don't like the big chrome grill, sorry. I think the body color grills are a little bit nicer in terms of it's not that giant chrome tombstone. But so many Dodge Rams come with the chrome grill that I figure that's the way it should be. Let's keep going here. We have the chassis. Chassis looks pretty good. And the suspension parts are separate, which will be nice because that will make it easier for me to add some bushings to give us some ride height, get it back up to what it should be, at least for a stock truck. And we got the dashboard, the upper pad. We've got the radiator support there. And it looks like it's two-sided because we've got this. So that will be glued on there. Then we have the wheels. The wheels are something I'm going to be addressing in a moment because I do not want to use these show wheels here. As a matter of fact, I don't even want alloy wheels on this. So we'll look at solving that problem here in a second. Before we get into the wheels, let's take a quick look at the body. Now, as you can see, it's all one piece. Now, I have to say this makes building a little bit easier because there's nothing worse than you're putting your pickup truck together and you end up with a misalignment in the bed versus the cab. That's always kind of frustrating. On the other hand, it avoids a little bit of a see-through effect, but most pickup trucks have got something of an overlap anyway, so you can't usually see straight through. So there's a bulkhead that goes in here. I probably will be, I don't know if we'll be scratch building, but I'll be doing something to give it a more substantial stock bumper on it. And of course, yes, all the body panels are going to be different. There's going to be some logic to it, e.g., the bed is all going to be one color because basically the guy got that from a truck that was in better shape. The cab doors, I'm probably going to have them match, but the body of the cab is going to be basically the only original bit of the body he has left. The fenders, they're going to be a different color. I think the hood might be the same color as the cab. I haven't decided that yet. But all the panels are going to show a certain amount of wear and rust damage on them. So in other words, yeah, he did manage to get, a bed that was in way better shape than the one he had, but it's already starting to rust out. So, and if you have any doubts as to how bad vehicles rust out in southwestern Ontario, check this picture out. Yep, pretty horrifying, isn't it? So, let's get on to the wheels. What are we going to do about wheels? So, what I'd really like to have is a set of steelies. That's what I'd really like to have, is a set of steelies on this thing. And if you're not sure what steelies are, they're basically the stock wheels that come with most vehicles. They're just a stamped steel wheel that's welded onto a metal rim, and usually your spare tire is a steely. So let's see. Of course, we have these are the ones that come in the kit, and they are really special looking. Let's get a focus on them. I definitely do not want to use these. So I went looking around through some other pickup truck kits, and in my Ford Super Duty mid-90s kit, I found this wagon wheel here. And basically, usually they weren't chrome, usually they were painted white. So if I was to copy this, make a mold of it, and cast it in resin, I'd probably paint it white and then give it a lot of rust staining and things like that. So that wouldn't be my ideal option because, like I said, I'd rather have a steely rather than something aftermarket. This wheel here, this came from Mobius's Ford Ranger, 71 Ford Ranger. So that's a fairly old wheel. But this is actually one of the front wheels. The rear wheels are different in that they don't have that cap on the middle there. So I could cast two of these and two rear wheels and put them on. But that's a very old wheel. Be putting wheels from a 70s vehicle, early 70s vehicle on a late 90s vehicle. I don't know. So the other option is this wheel here. Now, the chrome is going to give us trouble. This really should not be chromed. This is from Revell's 1999 Chevy Silverado. Try to get a focus on here. So as you can see, it has fancy alloy wheels on it too, but they give you one steely for the spare tire right there. And I know it looks fancy because it's shiny, but basically it's a steel wheel. The only problem with this is, yeah, that's right, Dan, use a shiny knife to illustrate with. It has kind of the rectangular retainer that goes through the middle of the wheel to pull it up to the bed. So if I was to copy this, I would have to be kind of chiseling that out. Although there is an alternative. I could make a mold of the center part of this, just the bit with the lug nuts and everything. And I could do a set of fronts and a set of rears, and then I could glue it into the middle part of this, and that would give me the best of both worlds. So, well, that's quite the gleam effect there. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do wheel-wise, is I'll make some molds of this and the fronts and rears of that one, and I'll combine them. I think that's probably the best way to go. Yes, here's the wheel sprue from the 71 Ford, and you can see that's one of the front wheels, that's one of the rear wheels, and of course they have a slightly different hub arrangement because, of course, this being a two-wheel drive, the front hub basically freewheels, and of course this is a fixed hub which attaches to the axle. So I think that's probably the way to go, is I will create a mold of just this inner piece here, and I will combine that with castings of this, and that will replace the rectangular retainer that normally would hold the wheel up to the underside of the bed. I think that pretty much solves all the problems to creating our sleeper. Yeah, I'm plunging right in. This is the Chevrolet Steely wheel, and I've already mounted it on a chunk of plastic, basically with the hub going all the way through, and that way I don't have to modify the part. I've already got 2 coats of mold builder latex on there. That's this guy right here, and this is the Ford front wheel that has the nice hub detail with the grease cap on it, and you can see that I've already put some mold builder on, basically this wheel here. So I'm going to be combining all those to make a nice set of steely wheels. I've also got the basic engine assembled. There wasn't a huge number of parts to this. Basically, you get 2 engine halves, the oil pan, rocker covers, and the intake. Oh yes, and there's an engine front. The instructions would have you paint all of this gloss black, which is a little odd, seeing as the side of the box shows the engine as being very red. So I went on the Infernal Net, and at least this generation of Viper engine, most of what you see here on the top should be red with silver highlights. The lower parts of the engine appear to be basically an unpainted steel. Don't know about the oil pan. I'm just going to paint that black because it looks like it's either a molded plastic or carbon fiber or something like that. The gearbox, I'm going to be painting that aluminum. And keep in mind, this is going to be quite a bit more grimy than if this was, somebody's pride and joy Viper. This Viper, or this engine, as I may have already said, came out of a wrecked Viper, and was sitting in the boneyard for a little while, and of course it's now in a daily driver pickup truck. So it's not going to be beautiful. It's not going to look disgusting, but it certainly is going to have some age to it. Well, we still need to put the exhaust headers on, and of course the spark plug wires, which basically just kind of run back towards the firewall. Of course, a modern engine like this doesn't actually have a distributor cap. So, and of course we will be dirtying this up a little bit, because of course it was from a wrecked car and is now in somebody's daily driver. And as well, on the progress front, this is the mold that I'm working on for the plain steelies, and this is going to be for the hub detail for the steelies. So that pretty much does it for this episode. So thanks for watching, and until next time, just keep on modeling.